place where you can go, where there's no one to tell you yes or no. If you just look into your heart, you will find there. That's the place to start. If you take a step and take another again, you'll find a better place to land. I know that it can be there someday. You've been waiting for. I know this life can be that one life you've been dreaming of. Today could be the someday. Today could be the one day. Today could be the someday you've been dreaming of. Today could be the someday. Today could be the one day. Today could be the someday you've been dreaming of. Oh, 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 today could be the day. Oh, oh, today could be the day.
I'm Jim Brogan. I was born here. I've been here all my life. I have 2 degrees from the University of Tennessee. So we do wealth management and retirement planning. Anything in your life that could impact your finances. So we serve people. And that's part of our mission statement. We serve people.
Well, good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're back in the studio this morning. I'm working on like 3 hours of sleep. I came home way late last night, and it was a 4-hour drive, plus you lose an hour of time because I was on Central Time. So we're working on fumes here this morning. I actually ended up having to come back a little bit early because my wife ended up having to work, and we've got a couple things that the kids have to do today. So they were like, my wife's like, yeah, you're going to have to come back tonight. And so I hit the road. I missed the dinner last night, but we had a great, fantastic time. I will have to say, hands down, this was one of my most favorite conferences. And, a group of us put this on. This is our second annual National Digital Weather Conference, and hands down, one of my favorite conferences ever. I've got some great stuff I want to share with you here this morning, especially if you have that. I've partnered with another company here. Did this over the weekend at the conference anyway, so we'll be talking much more about that. But if you have some, say some elderly parents or folks that just aren't really good with cell phones and don't really have my East Tennessee Weather app because they just can't really figure it out, there's a better option for some elderly or folks that may want to check in on this. So I'm going to talk more about that. We're going to be doing like a 15 days of Christmas giveaway for a free subscription to this as well. So all right, I'll talk more about that here in a second, but if you haven't looked outside yet, well, we got some fog around the area. Now, it's not everywhere, but we do have some patchy, dense fog that has set up shop thanks to the clearing skies across the area. And with that, because temperatures are below freezing in many locations, well, guess what? We have some freezing fog. So that's a live look at the visibility here to get the day started. So again, closer to Chattanooga, Saudi Daisy, Cleveland, up the I-75 corridor along the Cumberland Plateau, Morgan, Roane County, and then stretching up into Claiborne County. That doesn't mean just because it's not showing up on the map that you don't have fog, but this gives us a good idea of where that fog is falling, has developed. And because those temperatures are at or below freezing, the National Weather Service has issued a freezing fog advisory. So if you park your car outside, if you have back decks, and you have really foggy conditions, those decks will be a little bit on the slippery side this morning. You might have some ice accretion on your car. Or if you drive and you drive through a lot of fog and you go over some bridges and overpasses, those can also get a little on the icy side with freezing fog. So something to keep in mind. It runs until 10 o'clock this morning. Again, 20s and 30s for morning low temperatures. But hold on a second because these may be our high temperatures, by the way, come next Saturday, a week from yesterday. All right, I've got your attention, right? We've got a big old pocket of Arctic air that looks like it's going to set up shop and head our way. The coldest air of the season could be upon us. All right, let's pick up our future cast here this morning, 8 o'clock, and we're running through the day. Again, I got trigger happy on that one. Let me go back. Not that it's going to show you much, but really what I want to show you is that we have the sunshine for some of us, a few high thin clouds, a nice sunrise actually taking place in some locations. The clouds will gradually increase as this next little wave of energy heads our way. Like I said, the sunshine is out there for some of us, not all of us. This is a live look up in the mountains of East Tennessee, up towards let's push the right button there, Witcher. A few clouds, some mid-level clouds, some high-level clouds. That's a live look there in the Smoky Mountains near in downtown Gatlinburg. So again, that's really the story here this morning if you're not in the fog. But those clouds increase throughout the day today. Forecast high temperatures, a little bit closer to those seasonal averages. So I think we'll take it. A nice little warmer day ahead of us today, which is what we saw yesterday, although temperatures only made it into the 40s yesterday. So we're going to see a couple of waves of energy head our way. We've got one that's moving through today. That's why the clouds are going to be increasing. That's going to really thicken up the clouds overnight tonight, and then through the day tomorrow. A little bit of precipitation is possible, but it could see it in the form of maybe some light snow showers. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Cold front slides off to our south and southeast. So we've got a little boundary swinging its way through today. It's not going to produce any precipitation, and we don't have the colder air today per se, but the colder air is locked up to our north as high pressure builds in across the Ohio Valley. That shoves that colder air down, and as the moisture swings its way through, you can see a little bit of a wintry mess around parts of the southeast. These are clipper systems. They don't hold a lot of moisture. They're in and they're out pretty quickly. They're little fast-moving disturbances in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. And so when you look at forecasts, this isn't just rain accumulation. This is actually just precipitation accumulation. So you can see that we have a little idea that there is going to be some light precipitation across the Cumberland Plateau. It's the classic horseshoe when we're talking about the potential for some snow. And I know a lot of you on social media are saying, come on, Witcher, when are we going to get some of this activity in Knoxville or in the Valley? And well, unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. But notice Tri-Cities, Greenville, Newport, and the Smoky Mountains, how we have a little bit more precipitation possible. Tri-Cities maybe could see upwards of 1/4 inch of rainfall. Well, some of that actually could be in the form of some snow showers, especially across extreme upper East Tennessee into the higher elevations. So this is the ensemble forecast, and it's not really picking up on much activity across the plateau, but it is picking up on the activity across the Smokies and upper East Tennessee. I think that's going to be the general rule of thumb where we see the snowfall. But when you look at the deterministic models, well, maybe some light snow showers, a few flurries. So let me break it down for you. I've got light snow to a few flurries possible across the northern plateau. So Crossville up to Scott County and Fenchurch County. I don't anticipate at this point of the game a whole lot of activity there. A few flakes basically north of Interstate 40 can't be ruled out. But upper East Tennessee and the Smoky Mountains, we could see the potential for up to 2 inches. Now, a caveat on that, some of the latest high resolution model guidance is picking up on a lot more across upper East Tennessee and the Smokies. So stay with me. I'll keep you posted and see how the model runs do today. So check back in with your evening forecast on the East Tennessee weather app tonight before heading off to bed, or a live wake up with Witcher tomorrow morning. When you look at the impacts, the winter storm impacts with this, probably not going to see any major impacts with this system, which is good news, especially in the lower elevations. The higher elevations to Southwest Virginia, maybe could see a little bit more impactful weather. So here's your 7-day. Average high is 53, so pretty close to those averages today. Again, we're going to kind of flip-flop. I think we're going to stay fairly steady to steadily falling during the afternoon. Some of the latest model guidance isn't quite as strong with that big push of air, but it's going to feel cold. So just keep that in mind. And then we're going to see those temperatures stay in the mid-50s Wednesday, Thursday, with temperatures falling Friday and look at next Saturday. I mean, we're talking teens and 20s, teens for lows, maybe even single digits in teens for lows, and 20s and 30s for high temperatures. So there is the potential for some really cold Arctic air to set up shop and move our way behind that next little wave. I do have a question for you, though. If you look at a 7-day forecast and you see that I flip-flopped the high and the low, I know typically a 7-day forecast gives you highs and lows, but I also treat it as giving you the afternoon temperature. I've had a couple of folks on social media going, I don't really understand why you do that. A 7-day forecast is supposed to show the highs and the lows. I said, well, yes, it is, and that is true. However, I feel like I'm doing you a disservice if I put the high temperature for the day, and actually it's going to end up being a little bit colder. Now, we actually may stay in the 40s for the most part for a good chunk of our Monday before those temperatures come on down. And she was kind of like, oh, yeah, okay, I kind of understand that, because a lot of folks just glance at the 7-day and go, okay, I'm good. You know what I mean? So if I actually throw that we're following temperatures and throw the actual air temperature in the afternoon on the 7-day forecast rather than the official high temperature, in my personal opinion, I think that does you a better service than the other way around. I don't know. It's, food for thought. Right, Rick? Food for thought, buddy. What's up, man? How are you? Let's see. What do we got going on here? Okay. Happy birthday to Jesse James. It's Jesse's birthday. 42, huh? Nice. Jesse, you're catching me, my friend. Good morning, Michelle. How are you this morning? All right. So, had a great conference. I don't know if you saw on social media. So, I'm just going to share some photos here before we go any further. Let me just start you off with the original crew, the 5 founding fathers, if you will, of the National Weather Network. And for those of you that don't know, we are building a national platform of all of local broadcasters like me all over the country. And so it's going to be available to where if you want to go to a different part of the country, you just look up that person. It's a trusted source to get your local weather. So here's the crew. So we got Nick, we got me, Tim Jones, Ben Luna right there in the middle. He's kind of the one that is responsible for getting us all in there. You have Nick Pittman up into New Jersey and Mike Kruger over into Northern California, Redding, California area. So those are the 5 founding fathers, anyways, that helped really put together this conference. And if you saw on social media, I actually had a chance to present. So I presented. No, that is not 6-7. That's 4-7. Why? Because actually on social media, you only have 40. The maximum time you will ever allow me on social media is 47 seconds. Is that not crazy? So I got to present on that, and that was a lot of fun. It was cold in there, so I was wearing a jacket. It was so cold inside that inside that building. There's Nick Pittman from Nor'easter Nick. For those of you, we've got Kitty on here every once in a while. He joins us from New Jersey, and he watches Nick up there and then watches my show. Let's see. Ryan Hall made his presence there. He came and talked about YALLBot and using AI to AI to really kind of help navigate the broadcast really. Of course, on the way I had to stop and charge, so I made it to Buc-ee's to do a little bit of charging. Okay, so that's what's going on there. And that's what the great conference was all about. But when we go to these conferences, we learn a lot. And like I said, this is one of the best ones I've actually ever been to. And I've been to a lot of weather conferences over the years. Now, I'm not going to dive into a lot of details on this here at this hour, but I wanted to share a partnership that we just started. And it's with a company called WeatherCall. Okay. WeatherCall is a great organization that we are going to now partner with, and you're going to see a lot more on social media. I'm going to talk a lot more about this. And I will be able to, once I get it all set up, I will be sending out a notification for you to subscribe. It is a subscription base. It's $15 a year. Comes out to 4 cents a day. But what it does is you don't get text messages. You get an actual phone call from yours truly if you happen to be in an inclement weather area. If you're under a tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, anything like that, you'll get a personal phone call from me. And so this is great for camping, RVs, whatnot. It's kind of the last defense. A lot of folks turn off their notifications, and a lot of folks don't even have the East Tennessee weather notifications turned on. And so if you don't have those turned on, well, you're not going to get the information, right? Plus, how many notifications do you get on your cell phone a day? That's why I don't try to send a lot of notifications. Well, but if the phone rings, typically we answer it, especially if we know the number or if it's in our community, right? So that's kind of our last line of defense for severe weather, inclement weather. It's called WeatherCall. Don't go sign up for it yet. I will send you out, once we get it all set up, I'll send you a link to sign up. But because I've partnered with them, we are going to do 15 days of Christmas. I've got 15 one-year subscription gift cards to hand out. And so we're going to be starting that here on in just about 3 days or so. So make sure you stay tuned for that, because that's going to be a good giveaway. And this would be a great present to give away to maybe some of your elderly parents out there. And it's not just for the elderly by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just saying, I know that over the last couple of years, I've had to help a lot of elderly work and navigate my app. They're like, I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. And they shouldn't, I don't expect them to be experts on apps and downloading and getting all that stuff in there. So that's where WeatherCall comes in handy as well. Plus, today is Sunday, and if you know that, and I'm just going to do this now while I've got you on here anyways. Today is the day from 2 to 5 o'clock at Holston Hills Country Club. Bucky's Bikes is doing a donation, a bike. So if you want to donate to a great cause, it goes to the Mission of Hope, brand new bicycles. So I wanted to share some information from the folks over there at Bucky's Bike.
Christmas. So that Christmas, we decided as a family. Hey, Mike, thanks for having me on here. I'm with Bucky's Bike Charity, and it started in 2013, and unfortunately that was the year that my brother passed away from esophageal cancer. His name was Bucky Jones, and he had already been donating bikes every Christmas to Mission of Hope because he always believed that every child should have a new bike at Christmas. So that Christmas, we decided as a family, and some friends got together with us also, and we decided we would give some bikes to Mission of Hope. And that Christmas, we gave 23 brand new bikes. Well, that was just the start of something bigger and better, which is now Bucky's Bikes Charity Organization. And to date, we have given over 2,900 bikes. Last year, I think it was 668 brand new bicycles. And every year, it just keeps growing bigger and bigger.
So they're going to be at Holston Hills Country Club today between 2 and 5. All these brand new bikes go to the Mission of Hope. And if you can't or don't want to buy a brand new bike and give that away, you can donate cash or, money as well. So it's a great organization. I believe Julie's going to be out there today. I would like to be out there, but unfortunately, I cannot be out there today. So big shout out to Bucky's Bikes here this morning. All right, let's go ahead and get to work with those national holidays, shall we? We'll take it back outside and show you what it looks like. A live look there from the mountains of East Tennessee near Gatlinburg, or in downtown Gatlinburg anyways. So we do have the mostly cloudy, a few clouds hanging out with us, but some fog in other locations. So something to kind of keep in mind there. All right, well, we're celebrating birthdays and events today, and it's Jesse's birthday. So happy birthday again to Jesse. Jesse says it's also Pearl Harbor Day. And it may be on here. It is on here. All right, so birthdays and events. Give us your events out there. And again, Bucky's Bikes going on between 2 and 5 o'clock today. It's National Slime Day, by the way. Slime grosses me out. My kids like the slime. They all like that kind of stuff. It grosses me out. Maybe if it's brand new, I play with it originally. But then after you go back to it, you're like, your hands have been all over it. All over it. I don't like it. Hey, it's National Illinois Day. Anybody from Illinois? Today is also National Cotton Candy Day. That's like my wife's probably favorite day. I should go get her a thing of cotton candy. She's got to work today. Hence why I'm back in the studio here this morning. And it is and I made a cotton candy beer one time, a cotton candy Kolsch. And we had a cotton candy birthday party for my wife and a cotton candy machine with cotton candy beer. It actually turned out pretty good. Anyways, and today is National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. If you're looking for something to do, maybe go watch that movie today or watch a documentary or history on the History Channel of Pearl Harbor. The movie Pearl Harbor gets me every single time. I just can't even imagine. And I really want to go to Pearl Harbor. Just never had a chance to get out there. All right. Today we're also talking about historical weather events for December 7th. We don't have that many today. 1989, a storm moving out of the Central Rockies spread snow across Kansas and Oklahoma into Arkansas and the state of Tennessee. 7.5 inches of snow fell in Winfield, Kansas, with over 24,000 homes in the northeastern Arkansas without power. In 1988, an outbreak of cold Arctic air, kind of redundant, right? Arctic air, brought up to 18 inches of snow to the Colorado Rockies, with 14 inches in Boulder and 7 in Denver. I probably remember that. I was in Denver at the time. In 1987, heavy rain fell across eastern Puerto Rico with over 19 inches of rainfall. 1935, severe flooding hit parts of Houston, Texas. 8 people were killed as 100 city blocks were inundated. And in 1740, in early December, 2 weeks of mild and rainy weather culminated in the worst flood in 50 years in the lower Connecticut River Valley. The Merrimack River swelled to its highest level, and in Maine, the raging waters swept away mills, carried off bridges, and ruined highways. And on this date in history across the world, today's daily quote: there's a generous current in the American spirit. And if we can simply give voice to that once in a while, I think it's a good message. Fred Rogers. I didn't read that very well, did I? In 1996, the Space Shuttle Columbia returned from its longest ever shuttle flight of 17 days, 15 hours, and 54 minutes. In 1989, East Germany's Communist Party agreed to cooperate with the plan for free elections and a revised constitution. In 1987, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev set foot on the American soil for the first time. He had come to the U.S. for a Washington summit with U.S. President Reagan. And I remember that because I remember in 1987, if I recall right, he said that our grocery stores looked like museums because they're just always perfect. In 1974, President Makarios returned to Cyprus after 5 months in exile. In 1972, Apollo 17 was launched at Cape Canaveral. It was the last U.S. moon mission. And by the way, go watch that movie with Scarlett Johansson, I think it is, about the moon and landing on the moon and stuff. It's a really good movie if you've not seen it yet. In 1941, Pearl Harbor, located in the Hawaiian Islands of Oahu, was attacked by nearly 200 Japanese warplanes. The attack resulted in the U.S. entering into World War II. And in 1796, John Adams was elected to be the second president of the United States. Pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So we've got sunshine showing up now in Union County this morning. That's a live look at the Maynardville Courthouse. So a few high thin clouds out there. A nice start to the day. David, so Nick Pittman, Nor'easter Nick and I were talking about you here this past weekend because I was hanging out with him. So glad you could join us this morning. I was just talking about you just before you came on. Today, on this date in 1991, I lost Grandma Hilla as she had pneumonia. Oh, I'm sorry, Krista. Meteorology has come a long way. Congrats, Mike, for being the leader on the leading edge of a new wave. Crystal, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Actually, that literally is the conversation. So last year at the conference, we only had 25 people show up. Do you want to know how many people we had yesterday at the conference? 200. 200 people total in that building, with from vendors to participants, and a lot of folks came across the country who are currently in TV or may have just gotten out of legacy TV and want to join the efforts on what I'm doing and the leading edge of how we are changing the landscape of broadcast meteorology. So, Crystal, I do really appreciate that. It's great to see other people, and we all get to help each other out because we're all doing it a little bit differently. We all come to the table, and you come back from these conferences with just awesome ideas on how we can, move the needle. How do we move the needle forward a little bit? Let's see if we have any good photos to share with you this morning. And then I'll let you go about your Sunday. How about that? All right, here's one from Krista. It's Robert hanging out with Santa Claus. Love it, Krista. Thanks for sharing this morning. There's that little fella right there with the awesome fella. I've got a couple great photos. I don't know if I shared with these to you before I left for the broadcast. That came in here this past weekend, so we had some great stuff. That was from Beverly Dunn. Misty also. I think it's Mindy, actually. Mindy shared another great one from the sunrise the other morning, which was phenomenal, by the way. And the moon has been phenomenal as well. So that was in Speedwell from Mindy Barnett. And here's a great one from Kathy. And I think I posted this one on social media yesterday, but it was a great picture of the cloud. It looks really cool. She called it the mothership. It does look like the mothership is moving in, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Awesome stuff. You're welcome, David. Appreciate you as well. Good morning, Kevin. How are you this morning? All right, my friends, we're going to wrap things up this morning. 8:23, it's Sunday. It's chilly, some freezing fog out there. We're going to have some sunshine early on. Clouds increase. Here comes our next little wave. It's a clipper system. They don't hold a lot of moisture. They're in and out pretty quickly, but it could produce a little bit of light rain, a little bit of a wintry mix, maybe a few flurries across the Cumberland Plateau. Better chance for a little bit more accumulating snow, especially across the foothills and the mountains of Upper East Tennessee and the Smoky Mountains. And that would be through the day tomorrow, with steady to probably steadily falling temperatures tomorrow afternoon. And then the potential for another wave next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, before an Arctic plunge of air sets up shop by next Saturday and Sunday. The coldest air of the season is going to be working its way into the area. Well, I've got a little bit of patchy dense fog near my house in West Knoxville. We'll leave you with a live view from Fox Road Marina in West Knoxville, showing the fog. So do travel safely this morning. As always, be safe, be kind to each other. Life is short, and it's so good to see you back here on the platform this morning. Although I do like to travel out and about. But I'm going to need a nap today. 3 hours of sleep, 4-hour drive, doesn't really cut it, does it? Have a great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow.
Fly free. There's a spray can sitting, it could light up the show if you gave it to me. This army of sinners forgot to fight for a cause, while the visionaries run a race that's already lost. Standing up in front of an army, shoes in the mud and the wet paint, twists and turns up the alley, just like it should. So your colors, they start, and it's stripping you off your back.